Hi everyone, this is Tarot Down Under, soon to be Tarot in Greece. Because when I go, I wanted to reassure you I will be recording from Greece. I'll be making these videos, so I'm not leaving. I couldn't bear it either. But what I was saying was I won't be doing any personal readings for a month, one-on-one readings, and I'll come back to those in April and I'll let you know. In the meantime, this video should get to you for Super Tuesday, and I wanted to have a look at the atmosphere and the last one, standing. There's all the B's, isn't there? There's Biden, Bernie and Bloomberg. Hopefully Bloomberg will drop out, but no, I don't know. And Liz Warren. So you'd have to say, if you just asked me in the street, who do I think would be the best president? It would be Liz Warren, there is no doubt. I think she'd actually be the best person for the job. But she's not pulling the numbers, I presume, because Bernie people and Warren people are sort of overlapping. So I'll have a quick look at those candidates, but I'm more interested in the atmosphere of Super Tuesday. And of course, the failed mogul is blathering on into microphones. He really shouldn't be allowed to speak publicly. Okay, so here we go. First, I think I'll do 2 and 2. Bernie and Biden, you'd have to think statistically, number one. So Bernie's cards and Biden's cards. Bernie and Biden. Ooh, it's making me nervous. So Bernie on the left, Biden on the right. Well, this is the problem, isn't it, viewers? For Bernie, I think this is him fighting the good fight, and that's that very bolshy side of Bernie, the emperor. This is one of the reasons I think Liz Warren would actually be better in the role to some extent. I'd love to see Bernie be given the portfolio of health. And I think, first digression, viewers, I'd love to see Buttigieg be given either education, because I think he could do that department really well, certainly better than, you know, Betsy, I am so corrupt, DeVos. Or he could do Veterans Affairs, something like that. But back to Bernie. This is Bernie a bit in his my way or the highway mode. And I understand that. He's got to represent what he represents to go forward. But there's quite a bossy energy to the emperor. Then midway through this next cycle, happy days, there's a particular phenomenon happening too, apparently, where parents aren't that wild about Bernie, but their kids are very committed, and in terms of dealing with college debt and boomerang kids coming back home because they can't afford to live in the outside world, etc. He might pull more of the family vote than originally thought, but his outcome card is the 5 of Cups. None of this is set in stone. It's talking about what's happening now and short term. Biden, on the other hand, has had his near-death experience with those very poor showings early on. Then he gets the 6 of Wands here, which is a victory card. Riding to victory. I'm only lukewarm at best about Biden, but what does it matter what an Australian tarot reader thinks? If he can pull the nation together, that's important. And he gets the star. Gets the star. All right, so I think Bernie's still gaining momentum, but not quite getting there. And Biden's reached his low point, and now, of course, he's been getting those hand-on delegates. American viewers, your system is so complicated. I cannot believe it. So let's see how Liz is going and Bloomberg. Liz and Bloomberg. Head-to-head, Liz and Bloomberg. Okay, Liz on the left, Bloomberg on the right. Yeah, she's bedeviled by the system. Oh, isn't it typical? His are all pentacles. They're all money. Okay, she starts off okay in the sense of she is forming some last-minute pacts and alliances, I think, here. Also, there would be some degree of the voting public would be thinking, oh, we can't quite bring ourselves to vote for an out-and-out democratic socialist. Maybe we'll go behind Warren, but more likely maybe Bernie would choose her as a running mate. This could be Bernie and Liz. She's up against two nightmares. One is the devil and one is the Hierophant. And to a certain extent, she's bedeviled by the Pocahontas scenario in the past. Trump would come all guns blazing. But I don't think that's her worst problem. This is more the Hierophant, which is the system. It's politics itself, it's government, it's law and order. And the bottom line, viewers, in Australia, along with everything else, we've had one woman Prime Minister, Julia Gillard, and if I had to name the 6 most amazing things she did, they are truly amazing, and she is fantastic, and she did all this stuff. On the other hand, she brought in some really cruel and unnecessary and stupid things. She was so efficient at getting things actually legislated that she got more than any other person in the same time frame. But one of them was putting back the retirement age. So consequently, I can't get the pension, even though I'm an aged old chook, for another 2 years. Anyway, where was I going with that? What she's up against is people are not mad about strong women. Hillary suffered from that too. We still live in a misogynistic world. And if you haven't seen it, I would say go to YouTube and look up Julia Gillard, Gillard, and her misogyny speech that she gave in Parliament. And she has a real Australian accent, but she just slams the male politicians. It's an extraordinary, it went viral at the time. So if you haven't seen it, Julia Gillard, misogyny speech. But this is what Liz Warren is up against. You know, and I think that's both on the ground and within the party. It's like, oh, well, we need a man to, you know, deal with the Yeti. So there's a bit of that. Now with Bloomberg, on top he gets the 6 of Pentacles, money changing hands, and it certainly does when he's in the room. So spend, spend, spend. That's what he understands. The Page of Pentacles, this is the side of him that I think is quite youthful. As it's not someone else in the scene, I think it's him. He's quite youthful in the head, because what keeps him going is making money, and he really believes that's what makes the world go round. And it's hard to argue with sometimes, but that's him. I don't see him really pulling young voters, so I think that's that aspect of him. I'm worried for obvious reasons, and I'm not alone, with Biden's age and Bernie's age, you have to say. But even though he's got a couple of stints, he, I think, would prefer to go back to his former life, pre-candidacy, and make another run at making money. Okay, then he gets the Eight of Pentacles, back to basics and the fine print. That's why I read the page the way I do, because the Eight of Pentacles, the Apprentice card, came underneath, which is also a younger card. So there's nothing in his cards to say he's going to go further. Liz Warren is up against it. Bernie, we think, is going to make more headway and then not. So let's look at the Super PAC, whatever it is, on Tuesday. I don't even like the sound of Super Tuesday. Are the debates finished yet? Please tell me the debates are over. What is it with all these massive debates? Meanwhile, I don't think the Republicans are going to put up anyone against the Yeti. Oh, his golf courses. I love that. Scotland is actually going ahead with a court case over money laundering via his golf courses. Okay. Super Tuesday. The Democratic machine. What's going on here? Okay, let's have a look. Hard work, that's for sure. Well, yeah, you know, I don't know, viewers. It could be very complicated. So pushing it uphill, this is bringing all the different factions together and trying to get it unified. In this card, the bundle of different things has been brought into one bundle, so they can do it, but geez, it's a lot of work. Now here, the King of Swords. I think this could be Bernie, or it could be, in a way, Bernie is like the conscience of the party on some level, whether they like it or not, whether they like him or not. If they decide to, and he's got the numbers, you would think they would have to let him go forward this time. But will he get the numbers given that Biden's strengthening? So he is their conscience. Things are going to be happening very quickly and from multiple sources. So they have an exhausting time ahead of them with this Super PAC, and this is for Tuesday. Then the King of Wands. We've got the King of Swords and the King of Wands. This might be Bernie versus Biden now I think of it. Yeah, I think this is Bernie, and I think this is, the King of Wands is a quieter identity, a more comforting identity, and it's the safety first option. So that will be what their conflict is about. I'm surprised the Five of Wands hasn't turned up here. Now, coming through what they will do about it, the High Priestess. So women will play a role in this decision, which doesn't mean they're necessarily supportive of other women. It also speaks of hidden agendas. So I think the hidden agendas are not so hidden at this actual point in time. I'm pleased generically they get the strength card. So they might finally manage to achieve dragging, kicking and screaming the different factions into one. But they're worried, and they should be worried. And this is the Seven of Pentacles, the card of evaluation. Have they done enough? Have they got enough in place? Will it be all right? Worry, worry, worry. I'm just going to pull some other cards because I just want to see. I hope it doesn't go into what do you call that thing? It's a contested competition at the end. Ooh. Outcome for the Dems Super Tuesday. This is not the final, of course. Nothing seems to be the final. What fell out? Oh, Five of Swords. Winning at any price. This is, what can I say? I think this could even be Nancy Pelosi cracking the whip. And not everyone is pleased. In fact, very few people are pleased with some very tough tactics that she employs. The world, now the world is the beginning of a whole new scenario, a whole new world, literally. So this is a very important, I like to get a major arcana here, and it's a positive major arcana. It's also my card of diversity. In other words, what Bernie might be able to extract just by being Bernie is, if they go for Biden in the end and they don't back him, his legacy and his handover is you need my people and you need to convince them you're not back in the 50s along with the Republicans. You need to move forward with this. It's also my card of ethnic diversity. So this could be that the African-American vote is very important, obviously, but also the Hispanic vote, which is almost twice the size, I think, of the African-American vote, has to be brought into the tent. All right. So, Super Tuesday, I think there'll be more for Biden. I don't think Bloomberg's going to be around at the end, but who knows? Super Tuesday could throw up. I could be quite wrong, and he could be the mogul du jour. But really, does America need a racist, misogynist at its helm for much longer? So, don't forget, too much news, not enough gossip. There are whispers of Trump's love child. Now, that's only really juicy if it's a young child. An adult isn't going to make any difference, really, is it? So let's have a look at the gossip. Is there a love child here? Now, also there's the pardons, but apparently it's hard to pardon someone if you're named as a co-conspirator. So Stone might not get his wish. We'll see as that plays out. Let's see if the Yeti has spawned yet another offspring. I suspect the Ace of Wands, Ten of Cups, expansive family. I would say yes, and it's a boy, but I've got no idea of age. So I think there is another Trump male out there. We will see. Okay, now the other news is Bolton's book. Now, as I've said before, one of the reasons it's so hard to read on all this stuff is there's so many presidency and ending things that happen in a week, let alone a month, let alone 3 years. So Bolton's book, is there any more shocks to be had? Oh, and also I want to read on Lev. Cool. So Bolton's book. Let me just see. I was hoping I'd be able to pause this and get my other deck, but I can't. Bolton's book. Yes, he's going to be attacked from all sorts of positions. Oh. There could be legal repercussions coming out of the book. So in this context, is this Bolton fighting off, Fox and Friends and the Yeti himself and everyone who rallies around the cult leader? Or is this the cult leader fending off yet another attack? Bolton's a slow burn enemy, the Two of Wands strategy. He's thought long and hard about this. The Nine of Cups, his hopes and wishes fulfilled. Okay, the positioning of these cards, for those of you learning tarot, help flesh out this reading. This is hopes and wishes fulfilled and the smug merchant and stuff. But it's not that easy and clear cut for Bolton. I think this is now Bolton rather than Trump. And he's going to have to fend off criticism. It's the end of a whole cycle for him with the Death card. And I don't think that worries him. You wouldn't put out a book that is critical of Trump and expect things to be easy for you. But I think he's a Scorpio or something. I think he is ready for this, and this could be a significant nail in the coffin of the mindless mollusk. So in other words, Bolton's up to defending his book. He's quite happy to be the bearer of really grim tidings and expect legal cases. So this is not the last we're going to hear of this. There is more to be had. So, Lev, and let's look at Igor. Let's look at Igor first, because we don't know anything about what's happening for Igor. Whether Putin has given them different instructions, Igor, you shut up, Lev, you run with it, or whether Lev has done this on his own, which I suspect he has at great personal risk. So Igor's hoping to get protection, I think. Let's see if there's any legs in that idea. Let's look at Igor first. Igor Fruman, I think it is. Oops. 2 cards fell out. Knight of Pentacles, the mercenary. Well, that was their job description, wasn't it, really? Bagman for Giuliani. Also, the 8 of Pentacles. He is working on a plan behind the scenes, I think, bit by bit. Igor, this is. 9 of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords. Okay, with this 9 of Pentacles, I think Igor has a false sense of security. in the sense that he's done what was expected of him, I think, from Putin, which was to say nothing and I will look after you. But why I feel it's a false sense of security is here's the Ace of Swords that cuts through all the crap in front of it, and he will undoubtedly get a significantly longer sentence than Lev. So outside of a black op, which you couldn't rule out, of plucking him out of the prison exercise yard, I think he's going to pay the price for this loyalty to Putin. That is Lev. But if you're a mercenary, I think it's a bit like being a spy. One of the first things they tell you is if anything happens, you're on your own. And I think he is. Lev, who's like a lot of gangsters and characters that inhabit the netherworld, he has a certain degree of charm, which is hard to admit, but you can't deny it. There's something about it. You have to remind yourself, because he's got that sort of puppy face, that he's really a dirty guy and he's really a heavy guy. And this is how he's made his living, destroying other people's lives and moving illegal money around. Because there's something sort of, about Lev. So let's see. First of all, I want to know why he's gone quiet. Okay, so Lev, what's happening? Or maybe I'll do one reading and see if it turns up. What's happening for Lev? Why has he gone quiet? What's happening for Lev? Lev, 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 Lev. Queen of Pentacles. Happy. Oh, he gets 2 queens. And he gets the world. These aren't bad cards for Lev, you have to say. He gets the Queen of Pentacles. That suggests to me he's still being bankrolled by someone, and I would suggest a woman. So I think this is a woman who's an intermediary between, remember Firtash, remember that name, the Russian oligarch who's under house arrest in Austria. Now, we know from Rachel Maddow and others, Firtash was the one supplying the money for Lev and Igor to give to Giuliani. Giuliani says they worked for me, and that job seemed to be giving me money. I'd like to have 10 employees that had that job, Giuliani. But that's how out of control they all were. I think this is a woman who's an intermediary between Firtash and Lev. He's got a senior male lawyer, but I think this is from the other world. Gets the 10 of Cups. Considering he's looking at serious jail time and everything else, he's not radically unhappy, which is kind of mysterious, because a lot of people would like to shut up Lev. But he's got the rainbow. He's also got the Queen of Wands. So this could be when his case comes up, and God knows when it is. This could be a female judicial figure. He's got female support from both sides, put it this way. I think this Queen of Pentacles is from the dark side, and this could be simply the support of his wife. Don't overread it, Lena. I think this could be his wife still supporting him, and that isn't always the case, as we know. He also gets the World card, so he has a lot of energy and a lot of protection, and he's going to need it because these guys have a lot of reach all over the world, and this is saying this case is global. So he's far from out of the woods, but as we sit here, he's feeling that he's got enough support to survive, literally. But we will see what happens further down the track for Lev. So I'm doing my best, guys, to answer your questions and your readings. So a shout out. Dave Johnson is back in the country and he will be doing more videos. He's done one, I think, since he got back. So a shout out to Dave, shout out to all the regular readers. You're all doing a great job. Thanks, Marianne, as always. Linda G, big love. Kirsten Langston, I'm loving those cards of the week you're doing. I'm organising a collab with Jen Lynn and Johnny when I get back. I also want to shout out to Psychic Violetta because it's not easy doing this work when you haven't got the medium that's comfortable for you to do it with. So she's doing a great job responding to readers, and I'll do a collab with her in April. And Ganja Tarot, good luck. I hope you feel better real soon and they get on top of that condition for you. And there's others, Cash Peters, Marie's Table, it's all going on out there. So sorry if I've missed actually naming you, but I know I get strength from you guys as well. And I want to say to all intrepid viewers, it is a privilege to do this work for you. Thank you so much. And I will be coming, give me 3 or 4 days to make the trip. And I will be coming to you from Athens. How exciting is that? Mwah. Bye for now. Okay.